Hi, hello, this is Fareed from FKP Institute of AI. Welcome to this session. This session is on data science introduction. I have got agenda for this session. Let me quickly open the slideshow. Okay, here it is. In this session, first we will go and discuss about there are various terms which often confuses us in the field of data science. Later, we will have a small discussion on who can take up this course. Then we will see what is AI. And we know that artificial intelligence is a combination of multiple disciplines, including machine learning, NLP, time series forecasting, computer vision, and deep learning. To implement any AI application, machine learning is backbone. So that's why we are going to spend enough time to understand more about machine learning. We will discuss like how many types of machine learning methods are there, why those many types required, and what makes a machine learning algorithm. And at the end of the session, we will consolidate the definition of data science and how it is different from AI. First topic. So following are the various terms. So before going into the data science syllabus, understanding these terms is must. I am going to tell one statement for each term. I think that is sufficient to stick to one definition. I don't think much explanation is required. The first one is statistician. It is a role or a person who implements one or two models and he continuously polishing it, and he will be satisfied until his predictions are good and his planning is working for the business. Data mining. The person who performs the data mining is a software engineer. He may not be having a great idea on statistics and require mathematics, but he applies tools on the data he collected, and he presents the patterns of the data to his management. Management will further use the data to plan better. And business intelligence and data warehousing team. This is one of the critical team in any organization. What this team does, they collect the data from multiple systems in the company, like transactions, purchase orders, customer data, marketing, promotions, inventory, supply chain, finance, and even from HR like PeopleSoft, and manufacturing data and transportation. They gather the data from all these departments and they place the data in a single place that will be used for corporate reporting. Point number 4. What is the difference between analysis and analytics? Analysis is the process which is applied on the data which is collected by a data warehousing team. The outcome of the analysis answers a lot of questions like what is the total sales in this week, last finished week, and what is the total sales in the last finished 1 month and month to date, how the business is doing compared to the last year, and how my new products are moving. All these questions will be answered by the outcome of analysis. So now we came to know analysis is a process which will be performed on the data which we have already collected, which might be in data warehouse or somewhere else. Analytics is a separate field. It uses the insights, the result of analysis, and that will be used, the data, it uses the outcome of analysis and the data which is collected in the warehouse to predict something for the future. Analytics, basically there are two kinds. Analytics is always talks about the future, okay? Analysis tells what is happened or what is happening in the business. Analytics help to predict something to keep a business moving well. Now, analytics are basically two types. One is like qualitative analytics. We call it as a descriptive analytics. To perform qualitative analytics, we don't need to have much idea on statistics or required mathematics. Qualitative analytics will be performed by experience. For example, the winter season has came. Think that I have a chain of retail stores. I know that I need to maintain enough stock in each store related to winter clothing, and at the same time I need to maintain the enough stock for general clothing and the clothing which people especially wear in rainy or sunny seasons. I need to maintain a very less inventory in my, very less stock in each of my store. See, this is planning. It doesn't require it. It just requires the common sense. Okay. The other one is a predictive analytics, or we can call a quantitative analytics. So basically, these will be performed with the numbers. This will be performed, this deals with the numbers. For example, I want to increase sales of my newly launched product. I have several ways. I can invest in customer care. I can invest in redesigning the model, redesigning the product. I can invest in marketing. I can invest in advertising. I can invest in campaigning. But I don't know in which way I need to spend how much. That's where the predictive analytics helps us, and it will recommend, it will predict. Oh, okay. If you put this much fund, this much improvement will come. If you put this much fund in customer care, there will be improvement of this much percentage in the sales. Likewise, it will give me predictions. Based on that, I will take the decision. So, how much fund I have, I will invest based on the predictions what I have got from the predictive analytics team. A person who performs the predictive analytics is called a data scientist. And there are two terms here, business analysis and business analyst. So as a data scientist, the first person who you meet related to a business is a data analyst. So understanding his roles and responsibilities as a data scientist, it is necessary for us. So let's go over to understand what is a business analysis. So I will explain this term using a simple example. Business analysis, actually it's a process. It's a process. It identifies, helps to identify the changes required in the business process. You know, every business has a process established, and this particular process need to be changed timely. Otherwise, you cannot beat the competitors. I'm giving an example, the outcome of a business analysis. Merging customer care and help desk departments. These two departments, these two teams does the almost same kind of work, and if we merge these two teams, we can save some funds. Okay. Now let's go and see who is business analyst. Business analyst has important role. Business analyst listens the interest of the business, and he will perform the analysis, meaning he assess the requirement, whether this can be doable or not immediately doable, or after 4 months we can do it. Like he will assess the requirements for the interest of for the business interest. Okay, I will explain this using a small example. Business interest is to focus on a customer experience. They want to find out what is the customer satisfaction percentage, and they want to improve it. So this is the interest of business. Now business analyst comes into the picture, and he will start looking at like where we have this data. He knows that customer care will be having a data, because if I want to think that I have a customer care, I have this company belongs to telecommunications, and customer care has all the data. I mean, data of all the customers who has requested for the new connection, who has requested for repairs. Okay, and later business analyst knows that the guys who goes to the customer premises and establish the connections, that data will be with the engineering team, and he will check what data they have. Right? So whether they have the data maintaining, which is related to the situation that when the technician calls the customer and the customer is not lifting the phone, so there is some service interruption there. Are they maintaining this data? And this kind of assessment he will do and he reports to the business saying, hey, this data we don't have. And he will be always in touch with the business people. Okay, so what I am trying to say here is business analyst is a person who assesses the requirements of business interest. Okay, so this is a topic about who can take up this course. I mean, this is suitable for the students who are studying their 3rd year and 4th year of their master's or bachelor degree, and who has who have at least maths or statistics as a subject in their academic, and the employees who are looking for the to change their platform, and the guys who are looking for a job currently, and the duration required to complete this course is minimum 3 months. Okay, now let's go and see what is the definition of AI. AI is all about developing human intelligence in machines. Developing human intelligence in machines. I know it is not easily understandable, right? Okay. So, I will put the other way. The goal of AI is to provide a machine with the ability to come up with best possible decision after considering all possible scenarios and their outcomes in any given environment. Example, take the chess game. See, what is the next step? So, how we generally make the next step? By observing surroundings and by observing the previous steps. Right? What is the based on, what is the current status on the board? By observing all those scenarios, all the coins, we will make the next step. That is called intelligence. Okay, I know it is not easily understandable at this moment. Once we cover up the branches AI has, then we can, when we summarize the idea, then surely we will understand what is AI. So let's go and see what is machine learning, and it is very it plays like a very important role in AI. So what is machine learning? Machine learning is a it's a process which gives ability to the machines to predict something. So, my system, it will not predict anything, right? Our systems, if I don't do anything, I just keep my system aside, it will not predict. I have to do something. What I need to do is, I need to implement algorithms to solve several kind of problems. The problems are almost closer to what human being has and a human does in his daily life. Okay, so if you look at this first diagram here, so this we call a regression. This algorithm will be used for planning, right? In day-to-day life, we do a lot of planning, even for small. If I have some 1,000 rupees, like I will plan how to invest it, right? So the regression is the algorithm which will be used for the planning. So as I taken the example previously, think that I want to increase sales of my newly launched product. Okay, so where I should invest? On the x-axis, I am showing here the amount of fund I am going to invest in the advertising, and on the y-axis I am showing like a profit. So if I increase the fund, automatically my sales is increasing. Here I am showing like only one dimension, but I have other dimensions like customer care, product redesign, advertising, campaigning. So we have multiple dimensions. So imagine we have multi-dimensional graph. I mean, as a human, we can imagine up to 2 dimension, up to 3 dimension, not more than that. But computer looks at all the dimensions and it will calculate, if you increase this much amount, how much sales growing. Similar way at other dimensions, and it will come up with predictions saying, hey, you invest here more in advertising, you will get more. Spend very less in product redesign. Otherwise don't put anything any amount in the product redesigning. So these kind of recommendations it will give. So what I think you understood, like what I am saying. So this graph shows how much fund if you put for advertising, how much sales improving. This is called a regression. Okay, this is a kind of algorithm. And the other one, this is called a classification, right? We humans, we do the classifications, right? I mean, I can say like, this is my current bill, this is my power bill, or this is the power bill which is not related to me. I will look at the details on the power bill and I will say, hey, this is not my bill, give it to somebody else. Hey, this is my bill. The similar way, machine learning has algorithms. We call them as classification algorithms. Okay, so they classifies, and I have a lot of credit card transactions. I am interested to see what are fraud transactions, what are normal transactions. Right? It is again a kind of classification. There I am classifying, this is my power bill and this is not belongs to me. And here also same. This is a fraud transaction and this is not a fraud transaction. And even the machine is doing more complex problem than us, right? So this is a classification algorithm. So there are, this method is called actually the classification. And there are multiple algorithms to perform the same task. And when you come to the regression planning and predicting something the outcome of the regression is always numeric. Always numeric. So there are popular regression models are there, like we call linear regression and polynomial regression. And for classification, like to separate things like yes or no, to buy or not to buy, fraud transaction, not a fraud transaction, spam email, not a spam. Okay, to separate the things, we have classification algorithms. Okay, classification always deals with categorical data, yes, no, to buy, not to buy. Okay, so the classifications are like we have logistic regression, decision tree, random forest, ADA boost, XGBoost, support vector machines, and naive Bayes and K nearest neighbors. These are all the algorithms which helps us to implement classification algorithms, so that machine takes the advantage of those algorithms and it starts classifying the things. And this we call clustering. Even we do the clustering as a human. Clustering in the sense grouping similar things together, right? So actually this is the problem. I feel we start after after we take birth. Okay, but I don't know, I'm not sure, I'm just giving an example. So what parents do, they will put a lot of blocks in front of us, and they are with different colors. What we generally do when we were kids, we used to keep blocks which related to the same color, which has the same color at one place, and we used to separate them based on the color, right? It is called grouping. The same thing we call clustering. So this is a clustering. Now this graph shows related to a telecom company, and it shows the usage of data, or the time he is spending on the mobile or on the phone, and here it is a revenue we are getting from each customer. See, this algorithm now what it does, it has separated the customers based on their usage and revenue, and how much we are getting from each customer per month or average of the year, average revenue we are getting per year. So see, here are the customers, they are not using much, but they are paying more. This is danger. At any point of time we may lose this customer. So we have to educate this customer so that he starts using more, or we need to, we should help him to pay less. Otherwise tomorrow, maybe in 1 or 2 months he will go off. So that's why the grouping, meaning clustering, helps us to retain the customers. Now this, see, sometimes data will be shapeless, we cannot just separate it. Maybe this image belongs to some medical medical compounds. It's a composition of medicines to to help in to cure some disease. So this graph tells, if we give, this is one medicine, this is other medicine. If we give like small content for a particular age, it is working well. And if you give like higher percentage, in a higher amount, it is working well. If you give like the amount of medicine A and medicine B in a moderated proportion, in a moderate proportion, it is not working well, right? So this is all about machine learning. Okay, so